Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining me in this video. This is Thursday, the 18th day of December 2025. There is this lady that shared her story on Arise News. Her name is Fina. She went for her introduction. While she was coming back from her introduction with her boss and everyone, they were intercepted by Boko Haram. So Boko Haram asked them to recite Islamic prayer, to recite Otto's prayer they used to recite. Now, what is the purpose of Boko Haram telling someone they stop to recite an Islamic prayer? This is because they really want to know, are you a Muslim? Do you believe in Sharia? Are you our type before we leave you to go? But she could not recite it, so they have to kidnap her. They asked her to call the federal government to bring money. Now, a lot of you are thinking that what people pay when they are being kidnapped is just a ransom. For me, I see it from a different angle. It is a jizya tax. This is a tax paid by unbelievers like you. You are a Christian. They call you unbeliever, infidels. Okay, they pay tax. So they asked her to call the federal government for them to pay tax, and she could not. She was forced into labor between all sort of things until God helping her, she escaped, and she trekked for days before coming out to the limelight. So she was in Arise News telling her story. And at the end of the video, there are so many things I really want you to understand at this moment. But let us also, before the video, look into the stories I told you on this platform about people who were captured in Kwara State, who said that it was Kwara State government. Kwara State government said it was Rebadu's office that gave them AK-47. Now, they are trying to twist the story. But the most important thing is that NSA office, Rebadu's office said yes, they armed Bororo Fulanis with AK-47. Who is going to arrest them? Now, they are calling them vigilantes. We are already in trouble. They are calling these people, Bororo Fulanis are not Nigerians. They are calling them vigilantes. So, Rebadu armed this set of vigilantes with AK-47. Where are they coming from? Who are they? I have warned you people time with that number that this that is happening in Nigeria is an Islamization of this country. And the ABC government are the sole champion of the Islamization of Nigeria. Now, I want you to pay attention and listen to final story. After this story, let us talk more about this process of Islamization of Nigeria. You might not believe it now, but it is coming to your doorstep.
Fina Akilaus, who is from Adamawa State, was abducted in October 2020 while traveling back to Maiduguri. She says she was taken into the forest near the Chad-Cameroon-Niger border, where she spent more than 4 years in captivity. Well, during that time, Fina endured forced labor, hunger, beatings, attempted indoctrination, and repeated punishment for trying to escape. On October 24, 2024, last year, Fina and another captive escaped, trekking for days before reaching safety and receiving medical care in Maiduguri. A very interesting story indeed. Now, reunited with her family, Fina Akilaus joins us to share her story. Like you heard me say, I'm glad to have you, Fina. We're discussing behind the scene, and I was quite enthralled at the story you've been telling me and your determination. You went to meet for introduction, your fiance, and on your way back,
yes, sir.
your boss was intercepted, and then they told you to recite. They told all of you to recite the Muslim prayer, and you couldn't do it, and that was when they told you to come down. Yeah, tell us the story. They told you to come down from the bus, and what happened eventually?
They now take me to their own vehicle. They took me to their vehicle, and now I was like, I was like begging them first time, begging them. They now said, no, I should go. That is why they now pushed me inside their vehicle. And I said, okay, that is why I kept quiet there. They started, because at that spot we were 3 in number.
That came down from the bus?
No, from different vehicles.
Okay.
We were 3 that were captured.
But you were the only one from your own bus?
Yes.
That was a Christian?
Yes, I was the only one in my own bus. So that is how they now captured the 3 of us in different vehicles. They now start taking us to the forest then. So we did 2 on the half day. We started the journey on Monday. That is that 19 October 2020. So we started the journey in 19, 20, then 21. We arrived to their camp. So when we get there, We met with their boss, and he was telling us that he asked our name and everything. He did a video for us that very day.
He said people should do a video.
Yes, that very day.
For the federal government.
Yeah, not the very day. After 3 days,
Okay.
that very day we met. He just snapped us and asked our names, where we are from. We now told him. I said okay. So after 3 days, he now came back and said, okay, now we have to plead for the federal government for our release, so that they will support us and give it. When we tell them of our own background, they said, then they said, they will say that I know your family will not pay the kind of money we want except the government. And I say yes. And I said, we now make the video. We did that video. We were even expecting them to tell us, okay, government has settled us, so this, that. No, we waited for how many months? Up to 7 months, nothing.
They didn't send it to government eventually?
They didn't send it. I don't think they sent it, because if they send it, when I came out, people will say it now. Nobody said about that. Nobody says anything. We were like, okay. Because even though when the place was silent, they are not even telling us anything. They will just keep us. We were just inside one of their room like that. Their cage. I will just call it like cage. So we were just inside. They'll just come and preach as usual. People should Islamize though. Your own religion is not the real religion. That is how at that spot there we will reach up to 11. Is it 11 or 12? Because
they wanted you to convert to
Islam.
To Islam.
Religion, yes.
And you said no.
No. I said no. Will not convert. I said, oh, in their own law, if you did not convert to Islam,
They turned you to slave.
you become their slave.
So you became a slave. So what did being a slave entail in the camp? What did it mean for you to be their slave?
Yeah, well, because one, I'm a Christian, and they just want us to, if we don't want to be this slave, we'll become a Muslim. So if we don't want that, we'll become a Christian, but we'll be their slaves. We'll do some house chores, other things for them at home.
You were carrying wood, fetching water, and all that.
Yeah, definitely.
What gave you the strength of character, determination to say no? Because it wasn't only once they wanted you to convert to Muslim, but you kept on resisting.
No, it's not only once. It's not only once. They normally came to our place, and they said they'll preach for us. They are preaching for us to become a better people in life, and others if we become their religion, life will be better for us.
For 9 months, you refused?
Yes, for 9 months. When we were in that place for 9 months, before they started separating us, so we now said, tough. Since they say we will not Islamize, then they will separate each and every one of us to go to their Oga houses then, to become their slaves then.
And then you tried to escape the first time.
Yeah, even though when we
arrived,
yes, when we arrived, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. On Saturday night around 7 o'clock, me and Auntie Jumai tried to escape.
You met Jumai there in the camp?
No, in that spot that they captured.
Okay.
We were together with her, so we escaped that very day. That was on Saturday. Throughout the night, around 7 p.m., we walked throughout the night in morning. We now had a baby cry. We never knew that they have a family, neither children with them there. So we now had a baby voice. We thought it's all those Fulani men, and maybe it's them that they used to raid their cow close. So we just did salam alaikum and enter inside. When we enter inside, the people now came out and saw us. They started shouting, because their way of dressing with ours is different. So then they started shouting, who are those people? The husband now goes and carry his gun. Hey, when we saw him, we say, actually it was them again. That is now, they now kept us.
And this time around, they chained you?
No, they did not chain us this time, this first one, but they beat the hell out of us. Where we went trek and went to, it was very far place. From that side, where we are coming back to that camp that we tried to escape, it's beaten throughout. We arrived.
Were you doing this in the night, trekking in the night? Or
yes, it was in the night. It was in the night.
Through the bush?
Yes, through bush and water. It was in the night.
Oh, that's quite interesting. Then, I mean, we have a short time. I mean, the interesting part of the story is that you eventually escaped second time around or so. So how did you tell the story of how you managed to escape?
The last one?
Yeah, the one that you succeeded in escaping.
Okay.
I mean, you're here today, you spent 4 years there. So how did you eventually manage to escape?
Yeah. With God, all things are possible too. We prayed over it, and God have mercy on us, because of like me, I tried to escape once, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th time
Oh,
I
really?
succeed. Yes.
And on each occasion, they caught you.
Yes, they caught me. If they caught me, they would tie my legs with chains, with this motor ring. Them.
You weren't afraid trying to escape and being caught again?
I said I will keep on trying until I succeed, though, as far as I'm concerned.
You have some heart.
Yeah, it's God that just.
So eventually, what happened? How did you manage to escape?
So when already they know there, and this other woman, this Fulani woman used to sell fra and no in that area. So we now went, and I met one of the women and said to you, I heard that we used to help people to escape. We to want to escape, we should help also. And she now said, no, she cannot do it, that she's scared. Normally, if they capture them, they will kill them. So she's scared. That is how I keep on disturbing this woman. When she's coming to sell fra for us, I will just be disturbing her. So at long last, she now accept that, okay, she should talk to her husband, because she's not the one that will take us. It's her husband. She will let her talk to her husband. When she talk to her husband will know what to do.
You told me that you people had to pay 250,000.
Yeah.
And I was asking you, how did you get 250,000 in the camp?
Yeah, we saw some of their things there, and our own things that we bought there. Just sometimes they used to give money, so we just did it. And so sometimes we used to save the money that they give us. We just save it, because we used to hear that these people used to. If you met better person, they will now help you and escape. Even though themselves, if you met them themselves, the good ones that will show you the way to. But you have to pay money. Everybody, it is own amount of money that you want. So that is how we now keep on saving money too. We keep.
Well, fine. We don't have all the time. I wish I could have had more of this story. And then you lost your brother, who is a soldier, to
the same year
before you
that April
traveled. Yes. So sorry, but we thank God that you're alive, you're well. And of course, your fiance that you went to the introduction had already married even before you came out. It's all right. We trust that. And you were even doing business. Are you back to your business before I let you go now?
Yeah.
You're back to your business.
Assist me, yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Faina Akilaus.
I'm glad you are watching up to this point. Now, this is a very important information, and I want you to have this in your mind. If there is anybody that comes to your house in the night or even in the day, they knock at your door, they say they are policemen or especially military, don't open your door for them. I'm going to tell you the reason why. These Boko Haram and jihadists, they already have their own army functioning in this country, and the government is aware of this. They already have their army functional in this country, and the government, APC government, is aware of this. What are they doing? When you look at the people who killed in Edo State yesterday, they were wearing military uniform. When you see the people Navy killed, the Mietianda people who carries Mietianda ID cards, they killed them in Kogi State day before yesterday. Nigerian Navy killed them. They were putting on Nigerian military uniform. So it is very difficult now for you to know who is the terrorist or who is the Nigerian soldiers. So if someone even just intercept you and said you are under arrest, be very careful. They use Nigeria army common flag everything, but I do not blame them. Who put the Boko Haram into the army? APC government. So many recruits. They recruit terrorists into the army, into the political affairs. The SS we see, instead of them to veto politicians and stop them not occupy offices, they allow people who are terrorist sympathizers, terror financiers into the government. This is APC Islamic regime, and their sole purpose is to Islamize Nigeria. Buba Galadima told us that the reason why Buhari entered into politics is because they forced Buhari to enter to come and protect the Fulanis in Nigeria. He said this on Arise News. We have to be very careful. I am not coming out to do these videos every day for people to be scared or for people. I just want you to understand Nigeria for the way Nigeria is. I want you to understand Nigeria. I want you to understand where you are. I want you to understand what is going on, because I'm sorry that only the mainstream media we have in this country will not be able to tell you actually what is going on, because they are always trying to be politically correct. Even though they have the evidence before them, they can't even come out to say it the way it is. I thought that maybe in the TV station and radio stations in Nigeria, they will be talking and deliberating about how Rebado armed Bororo Fulanis with AK-47. Law did not even permit you, if they are vigilante as you claim, but these are not. They are not Nigerians. I thought people would be discussing about this in national television. Anyway, it is what it is. On my next video, let's talk about the Catholic school children that they have kidnapped since and their destiny at this moment. Are they still alive? Anyway, stay with me. On my next video, let's talk about it because the Reverend Sisters right now are raising an alarm. They are calling the international community to come to their aid. We are in trouble.